Welcome to Em The Dore, the only podcast that has neglected the sport of baseball for the past year. My name is Christopher Conway. That's my co-host, Willem Mazanero. And today we're joined by a very special guest. He was the 2018 Tennessee Mr. Baseball and the 2019 finalist for Mr. Baseball. It is the one, the only, the Parker Noland. Hey Parker, how are you?
Great. Thanks for having me on.
Dude, we're so excited to have you on. To our viewers, we're sorry we didn't put out an episode last week. We had some scheduling conflicts, but we hope to get out more consistent videos pretty soon. But today is all about Parker. So, Parker, let's start with the early life. When did you start playing baseball?
Yeah, so I think when I was 3 years old, I started playing T-ball.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, so I don't know. I grew up kind of watching my brothers play.
Yeah.
So I was like, even like 2 years old and 1 year old, I was always at their field. Whether it was just like messing around with other kids. And so I was just like, yo, let's play baseball.
Do you remember those first teams you played on?
Yeah, I could tell you like how fun like those games were and like how much I just enjoyed being out there.
That's sick.
Yeah.
What position you play in T-ball?
Everywhere. You know how it goes. Like
Yeah.
T-ball, kids just kind of run around. Yeah, like the best play, like everyone just kind of just runs around. Like the best kid makes the play.
Yeah, of course.
Like it's like a swarm.
And that was you, of course.
Yeah.
Great plays.
And so you grew up in Knoxville, Tennessee. What league did you play in?
For high school or?
No, like little league. Like where do you play?
Oh, I actually played. So I played at the Cove. Like it's in Farragut, Tennessee.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I played in.
I was at Powell Levi in Powell whenever.
Oh
I played.
yeah.
And so I could have gotten smoked by Parker's team.
Y'all could have been bitter rivals.
No,
Could've.
definitely not. I was bad.
Coach pitch dog.
I was the best coach
That
pitch
was one
pitcher
of
there's
the
ever
first
been.
stories you told me when we met. You're like, let me tell you about when I played coach pitch baseball.
Coach pitch
I don't
baseball
know
was
why,
so
it was
much
a day
fun.
one
Yeah,
conversation.
it was.
It was. It's something I heavily prided myself on when I was 6 years old.
Illegal bats and everything.
Yeah,
bro.
Before they had the BPF stickers on there, I was a dog.
Yeah, those were the best times.
And so when did you realize you wanted to do baseball for a long time?
Yeah, probably. So when I was a sixth grader, my brother was a junior in high school, and so I grew up watching Farragut High School play baseball. But obviously if you know any about their history, they had Nicky Delmonico played for the White Sox. They had Kurt Powell, who was in Pro Bowl, Nixon Zell for the Reds. So they had
Farragut's a good school.
yeah, they had a huge group of professional baseball players. So I was like, wow, I want to get a shot to go to college and do what these guys are doing. Maybe have the opportunity to go professional. So
Sick.
Yeah.
And so that was in 7th grade when you were playing. And so you were already on the track to play baseball at Farragut.
Yeah, I was on their middle school team and everything. So
There you
I
go.
was in the travel ball. You know how that goes. Every weekend you're out somewhere. So
Yeah, no, definitely. And so in high school, what was did you I assumed you would start on varsity freshman year.
Yeah.
How was that transition into getting into a pretty serious level of baseball?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I think the biggest thing for me was just learning from the older guys. Even we had a lot of good seniors that were obviously there to display how to go about things, what the team standards are. So it was kind of easy for me to fall into that path.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And so you were pretty successful pretty early on in your high school career. I think, if I remember my stats correctly, because I looked them up before the show, you bat .532 as a junior and set the Farragut High School slugging percentage as .959. Is that right?
Yeah.
How was that season for you
That's
then?
crazy.
Yeah, man, that was a crazy season. I honestly it was a huge jump for me, physicality wise, sophomore to junior year. Freshman, sophomore year came around, and I played okay, not to how I really wanted to, but it was I still wasn't getting these college offers that I wanted. I still wasn't getting looked at how I really wanted to be looked at, because I wanted to play down the road and I wanted to be able to go to school and play baseball. So I hit the weight room hard, probably gained 15 pounds.
Jeez.
And then that was kind of just elevated my game into a whole new
for sure.
realm.
Did you start getting college offers then?
Yeah, so my first offer, I was Lipscomb in Nashville, but
Shout out Lipscomb.
yeah, I actually committed to Middle Tennessee State.
Really?
Yeah, my junior year I committed there, then their head coach got fired going into my senior year.
Classic.
So then I started getting calls from other schools, and Vanderbilt reached out.
I remember we talked about recruiting like last semester, and because I was surprised that you didn't even consider going to UT because you were from that area.
Like at the time, like they're obviously a very like good baseball program and everything, but at the time, like Coach Vitello was a new coach; he was incoming.
Yeah.
They hadn't really reached out to me in the early years of high school, so Vitello was just coming in, and I didn't really know who the guy was compared to Vanderbilt, who I obviously like. Coach Corbin, who I built a relationship over, probably my high school years. I didn't really get to do that with Coach Vitello, so it was kind of hard for me to
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Was there any level of you felt a little disrespected though? Like that's your hometown. You weren't really recruited by.
Not necessarily. A little bit. Obviously there are rivals and
yeah.
I want to go to Knoxville and I want to play well and I want to sweep them there. Obviously, that's just the competitor that's in us. But no,
that's what we gotta do this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Word.
Last year didn't go well. So.
Last year was not. Last year, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But so junior year is when you started getting those offers. Is that the year that you guys won state, or was that your senior year?
That was my junior year. Or no, we won state my senior year.
Okay. So what was your favorite moment from high school?
We won a state championship for sure.
Can't beat it.
Yeah, that was top of the mountain, the last game, everything you can possibly win. So that was probably the top.
Yeah, it's sick. Do you remember the moments of the last pitches?
Yeah, for sure.
What happened?
I just remember looking at my shortstop. He plays at ETSU right now. Shout out Ashton.
Shout out Ashton.
I just remember looking at him and let's jump on the dog pile last. Let's flip into the pile, and we were just laughing. And I just remember that it was yesterday.
Did you? What position did you play?
I played third. I was playing third that game too. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Were you a utility player even in high school?
Yeah, I played second, first.
You caught, really?
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. So.
Multi-talented.
What's your favorite position to play in high school?
It was probably catching. I mean, dude, you're just behind the plate all the time. Standing in the field can get kind of especially in big games, it can not only get nerve-wracking, but you just want the ball hit to you. It's in the action, which is nice.
So this isn't necessarily related to high school ball, but you hear a lot, as a fan, of them talking about how catchers can sometimes have their hitting affected because they're so used to timing from their own pitcher. Is that something that is real, or is that just kind of announcer speak?
To be honest, me personally, I feel it elevates my hitting game. Just because you know how some batters' eyes and some fields the shadows are different and the daylight's different, and it's kind of you get into the box and you've seen it before. You've seen your eyes are adjusted to seeing baseballs that are coming really hard at you, at that sighting, I guess, in that lighting. Yeah.
That makes sense. I know Jack Bolger played considerably better last year when he
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And also a 92 mile per hour fastball is coming at you quick. So there's a lot of preparation and anticipation that goes into hitting.
Yeah.
Especially when they're throwing that hard, so it kind of primes your brain and eyes to kind of see that kind of stuff.
There you go. Do you ever want to play catcher again?
I do. I actually, dude, I got to do it this summer in the Northwoods League.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got to catch 42 innings, I think. So
That's
it was cool. Yeah,
sick.
Dude, I'm just trying to play. I don't care if it's shortstop, first, second, outfield, bench. I just want to be on the field. Yeah.
Have him pitch. That's fine.
No, bro.
Can you pitch?
I could. I'd probably top at 86. My arm might fall off after. But,
That's about 80 miles per hour faster than I can. So
yeah.
You got me there.
Yeah.
But so kind of playing all over the field translated into college.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't here during your freshman year whenever it was a COVID shortened season. But did you play a bunch of positions then? You kind of had to sophomore year?
Yeah. I started in the DH role. I'm pretty sure. My very first start. It's kind of funny. We're in Arizona and I'm in the bullpen. And I'm just thinking oh my gosh, I'm never gonna play here. I'm not I'm supposed to be a catcher and I'm catching bullpens in this game. That was the first college game I ever played, and I got called in to pinch hit and got a hit. And then from there I started DHing and kind of worked my way into Austin Martin went to center field. I played third base because Austin was at third. and then I kind of got to play first a little bit too.
Yeah.
So
That's what's up.
yeah.
And so that season we got canceled.
Mhm.
A lot of people think we would have went back to back that year if we didn't, because we had all that talent in terms of pitching and hitting and everybody. But we'll talk about that's more speculative. But sophomore year, that's when you played a lot of second base that year, if I remember correctly, because Tate Colwick got hurt that year. And I think, if I remember correctly, you started 64 in the 60s?
66 of 67.
60, yeah. And so how is it going, like, around the field? Like, does anything change when you, like, start at, second as opposed to first, as opposed to third?
Yeah, I mean, as far as the preparation goes, like, there's not much that I changed, but, like, I'd say, like, the speeds of where you are in the field are different. Like, for instance, like, second base, you have a lot more, like, ground to cover, but the balls aren't necessarily hit as hard. But, like, with third base, you don't have to cover as much ground, but all the balls that are hit to you are either going to be, like, chopped in the ground or, like, smoked at you.
Yeah.
So I would just say it's kind of more just, like, the speed of how in which you play.
Got it. What is your favorite position?
I personally would say second. Like, second's just, like, it's fun, man. You can make, like, mistakes over there and still, like, be able to get guys out.
Yeah.
Because you're closer to the base or whatever. But, like, third, like, you make a mistake, like, you're kind of just,
you bobble the ball and you're like,
tough.
I gotta eat it.
Yeah, especially, like, how hard guys are running down the line.
Yeah.
Especially, like, in the league we play in, so.
And so your sophomore year, that was when we had Jack and Kumar pitching, and we went all the way to the last game of the season, which was tragic, but
Yeah. still
still a great season, of course.
Yeah.
I will say, watching that season, my favorite thing that you did, this is maybe not my favorite thing, but one thing that I was always excited about is when you bunted. I don't know if you I don't know if you like bunting or not, but man, I'm telling you, if like Enrique could place bunts like you could, he'd have 100% like bunt base
Every
percentage.
time you bunted, Chris would be like, "That's the best I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone bunt the ball better." Do you see that? And you like replay it. I'm like, I get it, Chris. You're very impressed.
Well, it's like it's always like right down the first baseline that you just run by the ball. Do you enjoy bunting or no? Or are you just like, man, I want to swing so bad?
I mean, it's more of like I want to get on base type thing.
Yeah.
There you go.
I just want to get a hit. Like, I just want to get on base.
Anyway,
So you don't have any problems with bunting?
No, not at all. You can get a lot of hits from bunting
Yeah.
for sure. I got a lot of crap from like bunting on the last out of the CWS of that year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was a good bunt though.
I was safe
I thought you
too.
beat it.
I was bad safe.
I was mad.
I was just trying to get on base.
We
bro.
were down
like
like 7 runs, but
What do you
like
do?
still.
What do you
Yeah.
Who gave you shit for that?
Like just everyone. But I mean, like even my own teammates now. But like, I mean, we laugh about it now. But
Did you call that, or was it a bunt call?
no, it wasn't a bunt call. I was just like, yo, like
You're like, okay.
No, I just looked at third base. I was like, dude, I could easily lay down a bunt right now and get a hit. Because the third base, I mean, he's not expecting me to bunt because it's like
The last out of the
and he's all the way back.
27th out of
Yeah, and they got Landon Sims on the mound, so it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna throw down a bunt, see what
I
happens.
got it.
Landon Sims had a great year that year.
Yeah, he did.
But
He did.
if I remember, he didn't have a great year last year, though.
He tore his Tommy, I think.
Oh, did he really? Oh, that's never mind. My bad.
Yeah.
Hope you get better Landon Sims.
Yeah.
My bad. But so what was like your favorite moment from that year?
Favorite moment from that year was probably like running. Well, either beating Tennessee and Knoxville.
Oh, baby.
Yes, sir.
There we go.
That was cool. And like running onto the field, the first game of CWA, like the College World Series, like the final game was like pretty like
Yeah,
top of the line.
that's
There you
sick.
Yeah.
I remember that game in Knoxville. Tennessee fans can talk like nobody's business.
Good grief.
And they talk a lot even if they're not that great. And so I really enjoyed, you guys won that series 2-1 if I remember correctly that year.
Yeah.
And so I felt really good texting all my friends from Knoxville and telling them that they were bad. But
They were
you know.
chanting overrated and they were losing.
yeah, they changed it at Jack Leiter.
Yeah, they
It was
chanted
this-
at Jack, who was dealing. They were down. It was Tennessee, man.
Yeah. Also, Lindsey Nelson Stadium's like a T-ball field.
That's what I'm saying,
And
dude.
so,
The balls were flying out of there. That was crazy.
I mean, like the field is so much smaller though. Like, do you guys know that, like going into the game of like?
It's like the field's smaller for sure, but it's like how the ball flies there too. Like our field plays very like true, I guess you would say, meaning like if you hit a ball up in the air, it doesn't carry much. Like, it may on a day the wind's blowing out.
Yeah.
But if the wind's blowing in, like, it's hard to hit a ball out of their field. But I don't know if, like, there's something with the air there or just how the ball flies out, like,
They've got a big
on that
fan
hill.
blowing or
It's
something.
right next to the it's right next to the Tennessee River, and
Yeah.
so there's a lot of wind coming probably like down
Yeah.
that.
But the ball just takes off there. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But like
That's a much more
No,
plausible explanation.
I get mad though. 'Cause,
It's like the Rocky Stadium. Like, if you
Yeah.
would imagine, like,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
that. Not necessarily a small field, but like, flies.
it's only
It
it's
just goes.
330 down the right field line, like in Lindsey Nelson.
yeah.
Like it is a.
It's like, no, it's like 310-ish with a short
yeah.
fence, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it's like I remember I'm sitting there and I'm like I could have this field. I go on rants about Lindsey Nelson Stadium.
Oh, Chris went crazy watching baseball freshman year. Is awesome.
Well, it's because like I was mad last season because Tennessee had all this hype, and I love Tennessee football. In Tennessee basketball, I'm kind of on par with Vandy, but Tennessee baseball, man, they talk a lot, and it's like a lot of like the worst of Tennessee, in my opinion. And so then they're like, "We're the best offense there's ever been." I'm like, "Well, when you're playing on a 3-foot field, like, yeah, you're gonna hit a lot of home runs."
That offense was good. They were.
I mean, yeah, they
They were
raw,
good.
but like, I guess Notre Dame thought differently.
I
Anyway,
like Tony the I like the team.
yeah. So I guess moving to last year, you started at third, and then I don't remember exactly what happened last season. So like, take us through your junior year, I guess.
So, first series rolls around.
Oklahoma State.
Playing third. Tough front part of the season. Like, I was brutal. Probably for like the first 2.5 weeks. We go to Hawaii. Davis Diaz goes to third. Carter still at short.
Oh yeah.
And then that took place for a while.
But you were
That
were
kind
you
of
DH
I was
at that time?
DHing and playing first base.
Yeah.
During that time. Then a little bit more time went down the road.
That's when Carter was having a little bit of a slump.
Yeah, Davis moves to short, and then I started playing third again.
Yeah. I mean, that's just another like instance of you
Yeah,
being a utility guy.
Yeah, and I was playing first during that season too, and I was DHing, so I was still getting at bats. But
Yeah, for sure.
yeah.
Was it frustrating though, a little bit?
You know, like it was something that I needed to learn, like, and I think that like everybody needs to learn at some point. I mean, like whether it's just I wasn't taking the game for granted or anything, but I just didn't want it handed to me just because I've been there before.
Right.
And like that's something that like Coach Corbs is big on. Like, you got to earn, you earn your stuff. Like, you got to earn your spot on the field too. And I don't want to be on the field if someone else deserves to play over me.
Right.
I want to be able to earn that. So.
But yeah, like it's more of a frustration. Like I need to do better.
Yeah, it's an internal. I need to do better. It's not frustrated at my teammates because I want my teammates to do well.
Right, of course.
Yeah,
It's
like
for the team.
I wasn't trying to say like insinuate like you were mad at Dave,
No, you just want your guy. You just want to win, really.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing.
But late in the season, you started to turn that on. You started turning.
Yeah, and it comes around. It's baseball, man. It's hard. Like,
Yeah.
I know, like the first 2.5 weeks of the season, like I was like pressing hard. I was like, man, like I just want to get a hit. Like, then you start gripping the bat tighter, and then like you get tensed up and it doesn't go well. So you kind of gotta learn how to like dial that emotion in and like control yourself. I had to learn how to like control my emotions a lot better.
Is that something you felt like you learned a lot last season?
Yeah, definitely like emotional control. Just trying to be like the same guy every day, like just being the same personality for my teammates. So like the team can have some type of stability to it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's consistency, and that's like what makes teams better than others.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I bet like that's really important because you guys have a pretty young team.
Yeah.
It's, like obviously the
Yeah.
bullpen's a little old, but like regarding the people that are actually on the field, it's a pretty young team. And so having
Yeah.
that kind of veteran presence out there, it's probably pretty important.
Yeah, no, it's a tough pill to swallow. I'm sure for a lot of kids, just like it was me, because like a lot of these kids on our team and like my team, they've played all their lives. Like they're incredible athletes, incredible baseball players, and they've always been like the superstars of their team. And it's like tough for a lot of guys to come in here and be like, hey, like there's this guy that's old and is very good at baseball, and there's this guy, so it's a learning experience for so many people.
I know a lot of people when they think of like athletics, they generally focus on like the physical parts.
Right.
But I feel like the reason that we try to talk to like athletes and we try to bring this up on most interviews is we feel like the mental side of athletics is like really, really important to talk about.
Oh yeah.
And so how's that like mental journey been for you throughout Vanderbilt?
Yeah, man, my mental journey has been crazy. That's probably what I've learned like the most from. Like I said, like you know, you go to like a small town, not a small town like we went to, but you're in Knoxville, and you know, baseball's like good, but it's not like they're playing down in Florida. It's not like they're playing down in Georgia. You come to Vanderbilt and you see all these guys, and you're like, wow, you're kind of like blinded, like shell shocked a little bit. But it really just elevates your game. I mean, like you understand that these people are in the same boat as you, and that you have the resources to do the same thing. So at that point, it just comes to like hard work, just dedication to like what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure.
But I would say like going into my junior year, you know, kind of when I started not playing, you know, there was a lot of thoughts rolling through my head like, hey, like, you know, like my mind obviously wasn't on the right thing at the time, but it was like, I want to go play pro ball. Like, this is my like draft year. Like, I want to go do this. I want to go do that. But it was really like destructive, like way of looking at things. Because I like kind of like removed myself from the team, from like a personality standpoint. Like I was more concerned about how I felt versus what I could do to make the team move on. So then once I started just like forgetting about that, like forgetting that that's out of the picture, and like immersing myself with my teammates and having fun again, is when I started to really kind of take off. And like there's a lot of like, you know, like anxiety that comes into like wanting to perform how you like want to, because we all know that like there's so many people watching us, and like we want to make our families proud, and we want to do this and we want to do that, but it's really kind of easy to lose sight that it's just a game, and that it's like just important to try to have fun.
Yeah. And so, you know, a lot of people do come out of the end of the draft junior year. What made you decide to stay senior year?
Yeah, so dude, I didn't even get a call last year, which is, you know, I don't know if I would. I probably wouldn't have won anyways. At this point in my career, just because like I feel it's important for me to like go to school and finish my degree and kind of finish what I started. I also wasn't happy with how last year ended, so I kind of am looking to go out on a better note. Yeah, like this is I have an opportunity to like do it all again and see where it comes out, and hopefully it's a higher point than we were last year, and that's how I'm looking at it.
So at the end of that junior season, you started hitting like a lot better, playing a lot more. I remember specifically the two most like memorable hits that you had that I can remember last season was in the Indiana State at the end of the game when you started off the score, and I think with that 2-run shot, and then against Arkansas with another 2-run home run. How did like kind of whenever you started feeling like you were hitting the ball again, was it like relieving to kind of feel like you were like really getting back into like, you know, a groove, I guess? Yeah,
it was relieving some. I mean, but there's always like the kind of the not anxiety, but just like knowing that I haven't earned that spot, and that spot can give. So there's always like that kind of
stay hungry.
Stay hungry kind of mentality that you have to have with it.
For sure.
But also just like wanting to perform too. So there's always anxiety with that. But
pressure.
It's pressure.
I will say that there is nobody that looks angrier on the field than you do every single time you step on the field.
Yeah.
Is that like intentional? Like, are you like, I'm in like this mindset, or like, is it just like a? Dude,
honestly, like the past couple of years, like as I said, like I've got to learn how to enjoy the game more. Like I put too much pressure on myself. Like, no, like you're right, man. I can get frustrated.
They'll
at times,
cut to you on like SEC Network or something, and you're just sitting there like at third, you're like, this is mad. And it's like after you made a good play too. Like it's not even like they cut to you like if you like made an error or something like that. They're like, oh, what a great throw out by Parker Noland. And you're just like, you're probably thinking to yourself, you're like, I could have placed that ball better, you know?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll be better at it this year.
So one thing that, you know, I didn't realize was a thing because I didn't watch college baseball before actually I came to Vandy, and then I got like really heavy into it because Vandy was good, and then like I realized I enjoyed watching it. But like the double celebration that you guys had, I didn't realize it changed every year. What's it this year? Can you say that until it starts?
We don't have one yet.
What?
We don't have one yet. So
We gotta brainstorm.
Okay, we're gonna submit our application.
Okay, yeah.
Did you prefer, of the two that I've seen, did you prefer the one where you guys like called him small or the sun god one that they called on the broadcast?
I liked the small one.
I liked the small one a lot more.
Yeah.
Is that like a collective team? Like you guys get to decide?
Yeah, it's
Is it like a vote?
team thing. We like talk about it. And, like,
Okay,
like,
I didn't know if
yeah.
maybe like the first person who gets it gets to decide for like the whole season.
No.
Crazy?
Yeah, that would be crazy. That would be
That's
crazy.
fun.
That's
Was
what we
there
should
a better
do.
option last year? You were like, I would have.
Oh yeah. Did you vote for the other one?
No,
Was it
we
the
didn't
best
like
available?
vote. It was just like, yo, like guys, we're gonna do this. And we're like, all right, cool. That looks cool.
Yeah.
Like, it was not
Who
like,
proposed the idea?
I think it was Spencer.
Really?
Yeah.
Spencer,
That kinda
really?
makes
That makes
sense.
sense. That fits his
Yeah, but I mean
personality.
that's his personality. Like,
Yeah, that is his personality.
I almost think we should have our own.
Every
vending-
person
yeah,
has their own. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
What would yours
but,
be?
To be honest, right now I'd probably go with like the Kami Kami Ha from Dragon Ball
Oh,
Z.
let's go.
Here we go, baby.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I really loved the small one. Like
Yeah, that was good.
One,
That was
one
good.
tough.
That was good.
Every time they hit a double and you're just, I was hyped. I was
Yeah.
getting hyped like on the
Yeah.
like at the
Oh
game.
my gosh. Okay, I have a question. I don't know where else to put this. At home games, they have the Wendy's inning, where like for every like single, you get a single from Wendy's for free. Double, you get a double. A triple, you get like a big
Yeah.
cheeseburger. Do you guys know about that?
No,
Like,
no,
wait,
they
really?
don't tell us about that stuff.
No,
Okay, so here's the thing. Chris and I do after every game we go to Wendy's. to
Because
do
you
that.
get a free.
So
snack.
like like every time we're like, I don't care what happens the rest of the game. I just need them to do well for our Wendy's here. So y'all don't like.
No, we don't know that.
No,
yeah.
you added pressure now. I'm gonna start being like,
I'm gonna start
Parker, if
yelling,
you don't hit
"It's
during
the
the Wendy's.
Wendy's It's the Wendy's inning.
Yeah.
I remember
That's
at
so
one
funny.
point, like, because like the home run gets you like the good one or whatever,
Mhm.
right? And so I remember at one point, I think it was Diaz, and at one point Diaz had hit like 9 balls straight, like 1 foot off the fence, and I was like, if I was like, I need the 1 extra foot here, Davis. And it was just funny, but I didn't know you guys didn't know about like the promotional innings.
Yeah,
and
no.
stuff.
I mean, we hear it, but it's like,
You're not thinking
You're
about
we're
it.
not thinking
You're not
about
like, you're not like, oh, if I hit
Chris
well.
a sandwich.
yeah, no, yeah.
You're like, I gotta win this game.
Now you gotta,
Exactly.
now you gotta think about that. The
I
first home
respect it.
game,
Yeah.
if you ever come up during the Wendy's inning, I'd be like, well, gotta get a hit now for real.
Shoot. I'd lay down a bun or something for you.
I hope so, bro.
Yeah.
I'd be hyped
Button the Wendy's inning.
Yeah.
just to get it. That's funny, man. Well, so what's your favorite place to play
Yeah.
in college? Excluding Vanderbilt, I'm gonna say excluding Omaha.
Yeah, Arkansas was cool. Really cool environment. Ton of people there. They're crazy too, so it was
Yeah.
a great time. Whenever the fans were the craziest is like the most fun games.
Yeah.
But Arkansas, LSU was cool. Their stadium's just huge. Where else did I go? I liked the Auburn's field too. They had a good crowd there when we were there.
Balls were flying out that weekend.
Yeah. So those are probably like my top 3.
Okay, what on the opposite side? What are your least favorite places to play?
Least, probably Missouri, Kentucky.
Yeah, they just kind of they look like high school stadiums almost, like in terms of like the fans.
Yeah, the Missouri. It wasn't the environment there wasn't as loud. It's also was really compact. Like it's everything like right on top of each other.
Really?
So it's just like the fans and everything are really close to you. I don't know. It's just very small. There's not a lot of foul ground. I know ours doesn't either, but
yeah.
I'm trying to think. Kentucky's field is just kind of where their field's actually located. It's like outside of campus,
Really?
so it's almost like you're in like it's in the campus, but it's like pushed away from.
Oh, I do know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's kind of like in a field almost.
Yeah.
That's how I would describe it.
It's like away.
Yeah, it's away.
That's weird.
And it just kind of doesn't really feel like college type field.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
we got the Hog right there.
Mhm.
Everyone lives right here. Kentucky, it's
Yeah.
like I want to say southwest of campus.
Yeah,
That's
I know I
weird.
toured and I saw it.
yeah.
Yeah, I toured Kentucky.
They got a nice field though. Like there's nothing wrong with either of those fields. Like great fields. Yeah.
Is there one that you would consider like bad, like not even necessarily in the SEC, but anywhere you've played in college?
Well, the Northwoods League, like in a lot of summer leagues we play in, like those fields can get pretty brutal.
Jeez.
Like I mean, they're some of the fields that we play on are like in like JUCO fields or even high school fields.
Really?
So some of them just aren't kept up like
Yeah.
for the level of play that we should be playing. So sometimes like
Yeah.
they'll hit a super ball super hard at you. You just don't really have a shot.
You're like, no.
Yeah. So
As much as this may be like sacrilege to say, the Field of Dreams, I can't imagine that's a really good like field to play in.
I don't know. I would love to play there just for like the history that's behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like in a pure, like I imagine it kind of sucks. From a, like,
I just want to hit a ball
purely-
and see it go into the corner. That would be cool.
shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Was Omaha the best experience that you have planned somewhere?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
That was.
Omaha.
Yeah, that was the craziest time I've ever had in my life. 100%.
That must be wild.
Yeah.
So what would you say is your favorite memory up until this point of college ball?
Yeah. Going to Omaha, like the Super Regional Series, to go to Omaha, like the time before we were actually, like, you know, like the bus travels and like the practice before we had Omaha and just the time that like we had at school before we were going to go to Omaha was the most fun time.
There you go.
Because we were out of school, like we're just practicing.
Yeah.
We're still in our dorms. So
Really?
yeah.
Are you guys like all pretty much in the same like area or?
Like freshmen are in Commons,
Yeah.
we're in like Lewis and Morgan, so we're in Highland, yeah.
There you go.
Makes sense. So the only other baseball guest we ever had is Spencer Jones. And the one thing that we talked about for a while on that episode was the Stanford game in the CWS that year. How was that like? Obviously, you like saw that as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember if you were like one of the people that were on base during
No,
that
I
time or
wasn't. I
anything
was
like
actually
that?
the first out of that inning.
Oh.
Yeah, I remember that inning like it was yesterday too.
But like, was that like super surreal for you to watch?
Yeah, dude. Like
What was going through your head in that? Because that was if you guys lost, you were out. That
yeah, we were done, and I just remember being on the like rail and like I just go rounded out, and they brought their ace in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
who was, and I was just like, oh geez, like that guy was good. I hit ball hard, ground out, whatever. Come in the dugout, and I was like, geez, like we're screwed. Like this is it. Like
Did you say that?
no, I was just
You
like,
were just thinking it?
you just actually start to like get feelings of like, wow, like you know, we may have just lost it.
We're going home.
But then like Javi gets walked. Like
That was a
3-2
great
at
walk
bat.
by Javi.
Yes,
too.
it was.
That was arguably one of my favorite at bats.
Yeah.
He gets up there and takes, and I'm like, we're going home.
Yeah.
You
Anyway.
gotta swing the bat, dude.
And it was 3-2, and then he drew a walk, and I was like, oh, like we got something. Like we still got to score 2 runs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Javi to tie and then Spencer to win.
Yeah. And then Spencer slaps a ball
Like,
in the hole,
yeah, and the shortstop.
and then the shortstop overthrew it, first and third,
Yeah.
and then that happened. Or
No.
someone else.
Because he got a hit, and then he overthrew, I think, Spencer at first, and so Javi got to third, I
Yeah.
think, and then somebody else
Enrique
got,
hit
and then
the
Enrique
single.
got a
Enrique
hit
got a
down,
single.
down the
oh my
right field
gosh,
line.
That was the game. Enrique was furious.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because
And
he had
his
struck out
very
like
next
3
at bat,
times.
His very next at bat, he lays down that single and
I-
gets him home, and he's so hyped. It was-
You obviously like don't see like the TV broadcast because you're in the game.
Yeah.
But they cut to Enrique Bradfield during that game a million times slamming his helmet on the bench
In the dugout.
because he like struck out for like the 3rd time that game, and he was like so furious that he was just like slamming his helmet on the bench and just like obviously being upset because you know he has a pretty high expectation
Yeah.
for himself.
Yeah.
And so then the next at bat is that one, and he smokes a ball down the right field line, and I know it gets Javi home, but I think he stays on first.
Yes, Spencer goes to third.
Yeah, and so that's when.
And then the pass ball. Yeah, that happened
Yeah.
quick
His
too.
last name's Beck.
Yeah.
Something.
I was
Noah?
trying to remember.
No, not Noah. Jordan. No, I don't know.
Because that's the Tennessee guy.
Yeah.
I thought Carson maybe.
No. It'll come to me just once we stop filming.
But yeah, that was crazy. And so like that's when everybody like almost they didn't dogpile Spencer, but like they all came out and like celebrated. Like how was that for you?
That was probably like the most crazy time I've ever had in my career.
Will you go check on that?
Yeah, for sure.
We're having a small. This is okay. This has actually happened both of our last episodes. Yeah, he is. He's told us like log up. He showed us everything and make sure everything's all good.
I'm not here right now.
Okay, thank you. Rough.
It's like 2 episodes in a row. Last time it was a girl on the piano.
Yeah, last time we recorded, there was a girl on the piano just like playing, and we were like, Arnold was sitting out here and we called him. We were like, hey, can you like give this girl to stop playing the piano?
That was like,
what did she say?
She was like, hey, are y'all done filming your episode? And I'm like,
no,
not quite. She's like, okay, is Arnold on here? I'm like, no. Anyways,
well, we're not gonna rush.
no.
yeah,
That was weird. So what were other highlight moments from that CWS?
Yeah, that game was cool. The very first game we won too, Arizona.
That was a comeback.
It was a walk-off too. Yeah.
Went to like 12 innings.
Yeah,
if I remember
12
correctly.
innings. That was crazy.
That's where I realized McIlvain was really that dude.
Yeah, McIlvain's really good. Really good.
Yeah, he got drafted where?
To the Reds. I'm not sure what round. Maybe
It was,
10th or
yeah, it was in that range.
Yeah.
I thought he would come back, but
I don't like the Reds.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about MLB. But I've only recently gotten into watching baseball, and I have a problem with MLB. And obviously you're like in baseball, so you probably don't have the same problem. I feel like I don't like Major League Baseball because of the fact that there's 182 games in a regular season.
Yeah, it is a lot of games to keep up with.
And it makes it feel like no one game matters all that much.
Yeah.
You know, like a collection of games matters, right? Going on a streak is huge.
Mm-hmm.
But you lose like 7 games straight, you still are like...
Yeah, the
You know.
Mariners this year lost crazy streaks, and they still made it really well because they went on that big one.
Yeah.
And it's weird that, like, it doesn't, like, invalidate the single game, but, like, when there's 182, there's, like, well, there's 181 other ones, you know?
Yeah. Like, and I grew up watching, like, football. And so, like, you know, in college football, if you lose a game, you're almost, like, out of the playoffs at this point. So, I don't know. That's my problem with MLB, but I'm trying to get into it.
Yeah.
That's
No.
just crazy. Salary cap.
Oh, yeah, that's
No
my...
salary. That's my only other issue. Like, you got a team like Oakland, and you got a team like the Yankees. That's my only issue with Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Like, is it from a standpoint of thinking like I could play for one of these teams? Is it that? Is that a big factor where it's like I don't want to play in Oakland, they've got no money, or Spencer's like, thank gosh the Yankees, they can pay me.
Yeah, but then like, say you get drafted by the Yankees, but then you're also like, all right, I got to make it to the big leagues. So I've got to compete against those players who have gotten paid that much money.
Oh shoot, yeah.
So it's easier as a player, like as a rookie, to make it to the big leagues in a smaller market team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like that's how theoretically, yeah.
Yeah.
Theoretically, well, like
And you don't
know,
get
it's
drafted by the team per se. It's more like you get drafted into the farm system.
yeah, pretty much. Depending on who you are, for sure. But like, yeah, the team definitely has a huge part to play in it. Like, you want to go to an organization where you have the most opportunity, obviously. Like,
What would be your dream organization to get drafted to?
dream organization, probably the Braves.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you grow up like watching the Braves?
Yeah, like a lot of those travel ball tournaments were around like in Atlanta and stuff, so like it was close.
You guys would go to like Braves
Yeah,
games
yeah.
and stuff. That's really cool.
Yeah,
Shout out Braves, draft my boy.
for real.
Who do you have winning the World Series?
I got the Braves, and
We going back to back.
yeah, and Swanson's been playing well too.
They're a darn
Of course
good
he
team.
is.
Mm-hmm.
You were drafted in high school out of high school to the Miami Marlins, were you
Yeah.
not? What did they offer you?
So, what happened was I got offered in the 4th round by the Blue Jays.
Out of high school?
Yeah, at high school.
4th round.
Yeah, for $425, and I didn't take it.
What's that regarding slot value? Is that
I think it was under slot value.
okay?
Yeah. So I didn't take it, and so then like the Marlins just picked me up as kind of like a
Yeah, if he wants to come.
if he wants to
yeah.
come type thing. They didn't really offer me money because I told him I didn't want to come. So yeah.
That's pretty cool though.
Yeah.
I mean, like hearing your name called,
Yeah.
like was that like a cool experience for you?
Yeah. Yeah. I was so young at the time that I couldn't wrap my head around it. But like now looking back on it, it's kind of like
Like man.
yeah.
A major league team drafted you.
Yeah. That it's a whole different like.
I mean, you're gonna hear that again next year, of course.
true.
But like,
Yeah, that's the hopes.
But like, I remember going into this draft year. Everyone was saying you were leaving, And I obviously, like, again, we wanted to see you back and all that kind of stuff in like the Vanderbilt sense. But like, did you ever like get those like inklings of like maybe I should go now and see where I'd go?
No, not really. Like, I definitely thought about like, hey, like maybe this is time for like me to go to professional baseball and start my career. But like looking back on it, like I had a lot more fun playing college baseball than I would like playing minor league baseball, just from like, because Kumar was my roommate. You know, like I'm obviously friends with like Leiter and CJ and all those guys who've gotten drafted, so I know like what that minor league like system looks like, and I know like what they're going through every day. So like it's more like, yeah, I'd rather compete for like a national championship for one more year.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, I don't want to do what those guys are doing.
Yeah.
Man, CJ Rodriguez.
I miss the guy.
That man was I really want him to come back. That man was a special catcher.
Yeah, he was. He was an extremely good baseball player. Extremely good.
I remember, like, obviously we had amazing pitching talent that year.
Yeah.
But I was also of the belief that CJ made like each of them better.
For sure, the catcher can definitely help your pitching staff. Just the way he catches the ball.
Yeah, like he was the best frame artist I have ever seen.
Yeah, he can catch the baseball.
And man, do I like? I know that like obviously, I like Jack and I like Dom at catcher, but in my opinion, they didn't have like the defensive skill that CJ did. And I don't mean that disrespectfully in any way, but CJ defensively was an amazing catcher.
Yeah, CJ was top notch.
I remember he threw a ball down in the Arizona game, and the guy didn't even slide. Like he knew he was beat out by like 10 feet, and I was like, how bad must it feel to be in like the CWS and get the steal and get like the steal call, and you're like, all right, I'm about to go, and then you get beat so bad, you're like, you just stand there and like let Tate Colwick tag you. Like I was, oh my gosh, or maybe it was even you at that point. I don't remember.
I know we did throw someone out. I think it was Tate Colwick though that game.
Yeah. Man. Anyway, that's my CJ take. That was my mom's second favorite player. No, it was my mom's first. You were on that list though, because you're from Knoxville. Cool. Shout out my mom. But so I guess we'll. What are your expectations? Obviously, we're going to win like the national championship this year, but what are like some expectations you have for this season?
I think my main expectations, we got a lot of older guys. We got, I think, 8 seniors.
Really?
So my expectation is that the team's going to be like led well. Obviously, because I'm a senior, and that's what like I need our group of guys to do is like lead for this group of kids. So that's like my main thing. I'd say we also are just looking to be a close group.
There you go.
Like just be interacting with each other all the time, trying to spend the most time we can together. Really like cherishing each moment. Cherishing each moment, I should say. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, you good.
I'd say like just having fun in general.
Yeah, for sure. I know like a lot of people have been speculating a lot about this year. And the main concern that everybody seems to have is the power hitting on our offense. Because obviously we lost Spencer and obviously we lost Dom.
Yeah.
Do you feel like that could be made up by a mixture of like you and Cal and TJ?
Yeah, I think it's gonna definitely need to be like a contributed effort by everyone. Just like a connected team offense. You know, like it's easy for an offense to be dynamic when like we're all going toward one direction and like our whole mindset's winning versus more of like the individual statistic categories of it all.
When obviously I think Corbin makes the lineups, I guess, in terms of batting order. Do you think that he thinks about like, oh, you know, like Enrique's probably going to be batting first because that's what he does, but they like make it so like, okay, Enrique's probably going to get on base. He's not necessarily going to hit a home run, hit a triple or something like that, unless it's by his speed. Like, do you think that they go like better on base percentage and then like somebody with power, or is it more just like everybody's looking to get a hit? It doesn't matter how it happens or when it happens. You know. Like,
I think with Enrique, like as far as the 2-hole goes with Enrique, like you've got to put someone behind Enrique who can do something, like either move him or hit. Power numbers would definitely help there. But like our 2-hole would have to be a really good hitter, just because like he gets on a ton. He's stealing bases a lot, so that's a lot of times like hitting with him in scoring position, or even like having a chance to like just hit a ground ball to get them in.
Yeah.
So
I know the past 2 seasons we've had Diaz behind him often. There's been Carter behind him at times before he kind of got into a slump, and then we had Javi behind him at times.
yeah.
And I mean, that's a lot. That's a mixture of like power and reliability, I would say.
Yeah.
What's your favorite spot to hit in the lineup?
I like the 2-hole. You get a lot of bats there. 3 and 4 obviously. Like I feel like that's just a respected number in order in every baseball team. Like hitting lower in the order sometimes is better, just because like if you've been doing well, like guys aren't necessarily gonna try to like attack you as ways that you would with like 3 and 4. Like you might get more fastballs down lower in the order, so it can kind of be comfortable to sit down in there sometimes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What do you? Obviously, you guys haven't talked about it probably.
No, yeah, we don't talk about like any of that kind of stuff.
Probably for a while.
For a while,
it's
man.
probably
Like
a dynamic thing.
I mean, we don't even know like before our first game. Like it's like, hey, like this is who's going out there.
You guys
like,
don't know before the first game?
No, I mean like you will like 2 hours before the game. Like you'll know that day if you're playing or not. But like you're not gonna know the night before if you're playing. Like
For sure.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the majority of the questions regarding like actual baseball.
What's your walk-up song gonna be?
Okay.
Yeah.
Real question.
Real question of the entire.
I've been thinking
podcast.
about that. I'm open to options too.
'Cause you had fresh and clean last year.
Yeah, I went country my freshman year.
Oh baby.
You did?
Yeah, I went Big Green Tractor my freshman year.
That's funny.
Sophomore year I went a Lil Uzi song.
I remember.
Secure in the
It was
Bag.
Secure in the Bag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then So Fresh, So Clean this year. So I don't know. I want something that like gets the crowd involved. Obviously, like I think that's what I need to really appeal most to. So
You crowdsource it. Put out a poll. And be
could pull out a
"Please
poll.
help me."
Yeah, could pull out a poll.
The thing is like, so what restrictions do you guys have on walk-up songs?
Obviously, like no cuss words. It can't be like talking about like drugs, alcohol, or like girls. Like that's not. You don't want someone walking up to a walk-up song like that, like representing your team.
I always said that if I had a walk-up song, it would be the start of Six God by Drake, because I just love like the yeah. But then obviously I don't think you could get to the second line of the song unless you had like a radio version, which kind of sucks. But what are you like considering? Like what are like your options here?
I'm thinking about some Future songs.
Future's always.
He does have good songs.
He's got great songs.
But that's really like where I'm at right now. It's kind of in that category.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah.
That's funny. What's your favorite one that you've ever heard? Like from anybody on the Vanderbilt team, not like in pros or whatever.
I liked Tate Colwick's last year. It was like a TikTok song. It was like that. It was called "Baby Girl" by Disco Lines.
I don't think I remember what it
Yeah,
was.
you do. If you played it, you would hear it. You would be like, oh. But yeah.
We'll play it. We're gonna get DMCA'd on YouTube. It's gonna be fine. Get a copyright strike.
But it wasn't too serious. It was kind of funny, but also it was kind of a catchy song. So.
Do you have a least favorite one? Oh.
You don't remember the song?
No,
I
don't remember. I know the song, but I don't remember Tate Colwick walking up to that song.
Yeah, he did.
Huh.
That sounds familiar.
Carter did too for a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember. Didn't Carter change his to Desperado?
Yeah, that was what
Desperado
he
was
did freshman
one
year
of
and
my
sophomore
favorite
year.
walk-up songs.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I think my favorite walk-up song that I've heard throughout my like watching Vandy for 2 years was Dom's, the Kanye song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Can't Tell Me Nothing or was it?
I told God I'd be back.
Yeah, that was
so hard.
that
That's
was.
like reckless.
Dude, that song, I loved hearing that.
Whose
watching.
walk-up song was "That's It" by Future?
CJ.
That's my
was-
favorite.
Yeah.
CJ's walk-up song. Was,
Yeah.
CJ was tough.
I liked IT's.
Mm.
Rip my boy. He's at Oregon.
Shoot, what was it called? Humble Beginnings. I liked that one a lot.
Yeah.
That one was tough.
Oh yeah. Do you have a least favorite though? Like whose were you like, man, that's corny?
Is there anybody that's like notoriously bad at it?
No, not really.
No, we're trying to get the bad.
I don't really. As far as I have never been a huge fan of Johnny Cash. Bolger had Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I really expected like, I've never talked to Jack Bolger obviously, but does he like? seem like all his walk-up songs the past 2 years have been like kind of country related. Is he like a country guy?
I wouldn't say so.
He's from Maryland, isn't
Yeah,
he?
he's from Maryland.
What?
He's from Bowie,
Bowie,
Maryland.
Maryland.
Yeah.
Bowie and the man's white.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I'm not familiar with Bowie, Maryland, obviously.
I'm not either.
But
I'm not a Bowie man.
I wouldn't. He doesn't have a country accent or anything. Yeah.
Man.
Well, moving on to the rest of the questions here. Superlatives. We've got who's the best dancer on the team?
It was Javi last year.
Oh, Javi.
I would say this year probably TJ McKenzie.
Javi of the flips.
Mm-hmm.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah, that was sick.
I missed that, bro.
Yeah.
That was before he was starting too.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, so this is somewhat related to superlatives, but so we talked to the football team. We've had a lot of football guys on, right? And one thing that they have before games is when they go eat before games, they have an ice cream bar, right? And so we had Cam Johnson on, and he was talking about how all the wide receivers would like get ice cream and all their toppings, and they'd have like contests to see like who had the best ice cream and toppings and stuff. Do you guys have something like that?
Oh yeah, we don't really do that. That would be fun though.
Would you eat ice cream before a game?
Nah, there's no way I could eat ice cream before it. I don't know how they're.
That's what everyone except them.
I don't know how
That's
they're
what
eating
they'll
ice
say.
cream before a game.
I mean, I guess you got to be twitchy to play wide receiver,
That's what I'm
but
saying.
like, I feel like I'd like throw up from something like
I would
that.
too. I would
I
too.
have it in me.
I would
Especially when
too.
you're running that much.
Yeah, that's a lot. And people hitting you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could do it. They better me.
There's
Yeah.
sprinkles everywhere. But what do you guys like have in terms of food before games?
They cater a lot of meals to us, so it can be like
Oh, because you guys got the money in the handy.
Oh.
yeah. So we could get we could get anything from like Chipotle to Ziki's.
There you go.
What do you go for? What's your favorite what's your like pregame routine?
If I could have one,
Yeah.
or if I could choose a food, it'd probably be like Chipotle.
There you go.
What do you get?
So like bowl, white rice, black beans.
You have white rice?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, steak and chicken.
There you
So
go.
like double,
Word.
obviously. Corn salsa, guac, but like the red hot sauce, like not like the hottest,
Yeah,
hottest
yeah,
one
yeah,
they
yeah,
got.
yeah,
Yeah.
Do you get like queso or anything like that? or
Nah, no.
How do you feel about refried beans?
I'm not a huge fan of refried.
Thank you.
I love
Thank
refried
you.
beans,
Yeah.
man. My favorite bean. Easy.
I am with Mexican food. Like if I'm eating Mexican food, I don't mind refried beans.
Mm.
But if I'm doing anything else, it's not my cup of tea.
I get you.
How do you feel about candy corn?
There's certain flavors I enjoy.
There's flavors of candy corn?
They're different colors.
I don't know
They all
candy
taste
corn
the same?
enough.
Well,
I
I
don't
mean, there's like there's the classic candy corn, and then there's the ones that are different colors,
Yeah.
Okay, just for the purposes of this classic candy corn.
like the
Like
Yellow,
the yellow,
orange,
white,
white.
orange one. My mom used to eat them a ton. No, they're all right. They're too like chewy for me.
I don't like
They get stuck in my teeth too.
It's like
I
one of
knew
my-
you, Chris. I knew you wouldn't like candy corn.
Candy corn is not tasty.
I love
It's,
candy corn.
My mom eats it all the time though. That's all she eats is candy corn.
do you know that every single guest's like mom that's come on the mother of the guy that's come on the podcast or girl, they've followed. Like we have Jane Cox, we have Drew Weichert's mom. Drew Weichert's mom reacted to our story this morning.
Really?
Like she
She's
sent like
real
a weird
fan.
like
shout
like
out to
what's her
Mrs.
name?
Weichert. I think it's Becky.
Becky Weichert. Shout out Becky. But
Sasha's mom didn't.
Sasha's mom didn't really.
Cam's mom didn't.
I thought
We're only like
Cam's
50%.
mom did.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shoot! Yeah, you're right. We're doing pretty good. On
It was
mom
a
so
good-
far.
That was just like, I don't know if like your parents are gonna watch, but like
I don't know. I got no idea. I have no idea.
everybody's like has, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. There wasn't like a purpose of me bringing that up.
No, yeah, she probably will. I know she follows me pretty heavy, so she'll probably.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, probably their biggest fan.
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
like,
she'll probably view it.
do they come to a lot of games since they're? I mean, you're
Mhm.
from Knoxville.
Yeah,
so-
they do. They do. They come to a large amount of games. I'm glad that they're able to come.
Yeah, for
There
sure.
you go. Chris is like the hidden requirement. Now that we've got you here, is that your parents have to
Yeah.
follow
No,
us.
yeah, I'm gonna be like.
Chris is like, this is the status quo. I don't know if you're gonna live up to that, but what, Chris?
I don't know. But,
We're clearly professionals here.
yeah, no, it's fine.
Who's the funniest member of the team?
The funniest member of the team? I don't want to offend anyone here.
They're all very, very funny.
They're
but
all-
if you were, what is?
Who has a guaranteed laugh? Somebody needs to make me laugh. Who would you put in front of me?
For on my team or you guys?
On your team.
Okay. I thought you guys were talking about you guys. I thought you were asking.
You're talking pitting me against Willem? No, we all know it's me.
That's what I thought y'all were doing. I was like, oh.
On the baseball team, who's the funniest?
This is still superlative. Yeah, you did just say who's the funniest. You didn't say.
I said member of the team.
I didn't know if y'all were talking about y'all's team or like.
Our team.
Is the Show Em The Dore team the two people?
Yeah.
Show Em the team.
I'd probably say TJ. Well, he's my roommate, so like I'm always around TJ.
Yeah, you hear his jokes.
I think Enrique's funny.
Oh, I have a story about Enrique in a second.
Yeah, those are my top two, TJ and Enrique.
Okay.
There you go.
Enrique is shorter than he is listed.
Probably.
Enrique is listed at like 6'1".
Yeah, I don't know if he's that tall, but
the reason why I bring this up is because I was at Highland last semester at some point, and I'm in the elevator going down, and he gets in the elevator, and I'm like, holy shit, that's Enrique Bradfield Jr. And I'm like, I'm taller than him, and I'm like, I feel like I shouldn't be taller than Enrique.
Yeah.
Separately, like, do you hang out with Enrique like outside of baseball a lot?
Yeah.
Does he wore like some really strong cologne that day? Like really strong, like felt like it was like either Polo or like Axe or something cologne. And I'm like, man,
it's been multiple times. You told me you ran into him twice, and each time you're like, his cologne's so strong.
Like it's like he like took a bath in. Like, do you ever notice?
No, I don't know.
Like,
who's your best smelling?
Like obviously we want Enrique on. We've made him a shirt and like we've DM'd him and stuff. Like I'm not trying to hate on Enrique, but like, oh my gosh, I got in there and I'm like, oh my god, that's Enrique. And then I'm like, wow, like that is strong. He was wearing a black polo too.
Yeah,
he was going somewhere.
He's probably going somewhere. I don't know.
He's probably getting another Gatorade sponsorship.
Yeah, probably something. He's always doing something. So
I told Willem that if he ever came on the podcast, which he said he would at some point, we're holding Enrique to that.
He will.
We said we'd bring a Gatorade bottle and just put it on the
Yeah.
You know,
plug there.
you can plug that. We'll plug them early. Have you reached any like NIL type deals?
Yeah, it's just not really like my cup of tea, man. Like I really just I'm kind of trying to focus on like baseball and like how I'm like building my own like connections with people, like building relationships.
Have you been reached out at all?
Yeah, for sure. You know, it's like random clothes companies, like. You know, or like restaurants and stuff, which is cool.
Sick.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, I don't know. I'm really trying to. I just want to focus like all my attention on baseball and the guys around me. Really.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Not no hate to Enrique at all. Like.
Oh no.
He's getting
Obviously,
paid.
he's getting a bag.
Yeah.
You're just.
Yeah. I wasn't gonna receive any type of money that he was getting.
No, because
so,
he has like what Dick's, Gatorade, G Fuel. I guess that might be Gatorade as well. No, is that?
I'm not sure. I know he's got Gatorade, Dick's for sure. Which I mean,
get your bag. Yeah, I mean,
so.
He's a bag chaser. I respect it.
Golden Spikes finalist.
Yeah, and he's got a lot. I mean, he won a Gold Glove and all that. Golden Spikes finalist, all those bases. Like he's got to build his brand. So.
It's his draft year, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. That's rough for the program. I have a question regarding a situation that happened in this year's regional.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys are playing San Diego, maybe. Who do you guys lose to the first time? San Diego. And Enrique gets on first. You guys are down a run. Why does he not steal there?
I'm not sure. I don't even really remember.
You're not the coach. You don't do the signs.
But with Enrique, like if he steals, like he's got a good possibility of being safe, just because of how fast he is.
Mm-hmm.
This is something I was personally upset about, right? Just like it's ninth inning, bottom of the ninth. We have no outs, Enrique on first, down a run, right? We sack bunt him to second.
I remember that, yeah. And then
in my mind,
did we get thrown out at second?
No, he didn't get thrown out
but we used an out.
Yeah, used an out, and then I guess Spencer and Dom didn't get a hit, and then you guys lost. And that obviously that's a rarity of that occurring that they both don't get a hit.
Yeah.
But like, I couldn't understand why Enrique wouldn't be stealing there, because in my mind he steals second. It's almost guaranteed he's at second. You know, there are very few catchers in the entire baseball.
Was that lefty still pitching?
No, maybe, but I mean they weren't. He had like his normal lead. Like he
Yeah,
wasn't like
yeah.
too close to the base or anything like that. But like in my mind, it would have been he steals second, sack bunt into third, and then either Spencer or Dom is gonna hit a fly ball enough to get him, sacked.
Yeah. I'm not. I don't know. I know that's a tough decision to make. That's for sure. I mean, like, because he goes and gets thrown out there, like, then that's it. Yeah.
I feel like you got to take your risk when you got Enrique on first.
Though. Yeah. I mean, it may have been his read. Like, he may have gotten the green light to run, just didn't feel like he could have gotten it. The pitcher may have been quick to the plate or something. I'm sure they were obviously worried about him because of Enrique.
I mean, they throw like 14 times in that bat.
Yeah.
But have you ever been right after Enrique when he's like on first or something like that?
Yeah, I've hit behind him in the 2-hole a couple games.
How was that? Were you like, oh, I'm not going to get a pitch here for another 35 seconds?
Yeah, that is annoying. They pick at him a lot. I mean, they have to, though.
I mean, of course. Yeah. This is not his episode, but like, that's such like it's a large part of the like team's offense.
Oh,
it feels like
100%.
I remember they put up a stat last year, or maybe the year before, that it was like the chances of Vanderbilt scoring a run when he was on base went from like 40% or something like that to like 70%.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that's wild.
Yeah, speed kills. Speed kills.
And if I remember correct, RJ Austin is really fast.
He is fast.
Is he faster than Enrique?
No, I've never seen a baseball player that moves faster than Enrique.
Really?
No.
His 60-yard dash is faster than Enrique's.
Really?
Is it?
Yeah, on his like profile or whatever for the draft, they already had him at like, I don't know how like MLB draft prospects work, but like they do it like 50 is the average player or whatever. His was already at like a 70. And so like I was like, man, if he moves as fast as Enrique, which like nobody does, like I mean that's a huge asset to the team.
Yeah, he is that fast. I hope that he plays that fast on the field too.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah, if that is a thing, like, because I haven't gotten to see these guys play yet, because we haven't really scrimmaged or anything. Yeah. But yeah, if he's that fast, like that's a huge offensive boost.
Do you feel like you should steal more than you do? Because you're pretty fast.
Yeah, it's a huge like confidence thing. Like as a base runner, like a lot of times like Corbs is like just gonna give you a green light, like if he wants like hey, like I know you can steal a base, like here's a green light, like take your best jump type thing, just so you're not like forced to steal on a certain pitch. So that way you can like kind of better think about it, like, oh, it's a 2-0 count, like he's probably throwing a fastball, maybe not the best count to steal.
Right.
But like breaking ball counts, like hey, like
that's your time.
Yeah. And so you can have like some natural instinct with it, but like it's a confidence thing. Like if you don't think you can take it, like, and you go, like, then you're not gonna take it. And you got to get a good jump too. Like those catchers are good. Like,
of course.
And they're throwing the ball so hard to the plate that it's quick. So like,
But like, so you get a green light. You would rather, you don't always feel.
Yeah. I as far as answering your question goes, my bad.
No, you're good.
I would say yeah. I'd say I do need to steal more. I feel like if you're not getting thrown out at some point in the year, like you weren't aggressive enough.
There you go. I get you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as you keep that percentage high of like, hey, I'm reaching base like 80% of the time to second base that I'm stealing, but like I'm getting thrown out some. Yeah, which is part of it.
If you could take one aspect of your game and make yourself the best in the world at that one aspect, keep everything else the same, what would you choose?
For baseball skills?
Yeah. I mean, just general life skills too.
Yeah.
Like, I guess you could say dancing to this one.
No, I'd say hitting for sure. I feel like
hitting for power, hitting for
power,
average.
Power.
Okay. Yeah.
Or average. Power or average would be cool. I know you can't have both. Obviously, it's tough. But I mean, Aaron Judge, like everyone knows his name now. Like, because he just.
Do you think that's the record, or do you think it's Bonds at 73?
I mean, like, to be honest with you, I feel like it's Judge, because put Judge on steroids, like, how many home runs has he hit?
Good grief.
That's what MLB needs to do. MLB, you heard it here first. Let Aaron Judge take steroids next year.
Yes.
Settle the
I want to
argument.
see how crazy he can go.
Settle the argument.
I mean, bro, if you put that man on steroids, he'd probably hit like 20 more home runs. So like, that's 90 home runs?
I think he hits 100.
62 is impressive. I will say it's nowhere near how many home runs I hit in MLB The Show. I'll let you know right now. I play on rookie mode. I hit like 120 a season.
Yeah. Every game.
Every at bat. It's funny. Is there been like a certain at bat for you over the course of your career where you felt like you've just like you're like, that was my best at bat I've ever had? Not necessarily one where you just smoked it out of the park, but like one that, you know, you just feel like it was like your best, like maybe smartest at bat.
Probably, you brought up that Arkansas game. Probably
Yeah.
there was an Arkansas, that home run I hit, probably that one. That guy's name that was pitching against me was Parker Noland, like spelled
Really?
the same way that my last name was spelled.
What?
So it was like, hey,
Sick.
like, yeah.
There's no, oh yeah, I remember that actually. The announcer does something corny like "no one don't no one crime."
Yeah.
It made me like want to die.
Yeah.
But I was not a fan of
That's
it.
tough.
I was home at the time, and I'm like, ah. But that was a sick game because
Jordan Beck.
Nope, that's
That's the Tennessee
that's
Gosh,
the
dang it,
Tennessee.
man. I was proud of myself. Keep going.
Is it? It might be both.
I think it's Noah.
You look it up.
I really do think it's Noah.
It could be. Is there anything that like you want to talk about? We're gonna open the floor to if you want to bring anything up while Willem thinks up because
Cam brought up his Twitch when we asked him this
Yeah.
question, so you can plug it.
Cam plugged his Twitch.
Oh,
Anything.
man. You know, I really don't have anything.
Like follow you on Instagram or
Yeah,
something like
follow
that?
me on Instagram.
Word.
What's your at?
Parker Noland _20.
Sick. We'll put it in the description as well.
Yeah.
Once we figure this out, we'll.
What piece of advice would you give to a young baseball player? What's the biggest piece of advice you give?
Yeah. I'd say never lose your innocence as one. There's always people who are out there working harder than you. And there's always people out there who are like better than you. I'd say 2, stay hardworking. Never lose your dedication. 3, always have fun. Never lose your love for the game. I mean, like, it's hard as far as like moving up in high school goes and the college and like how serious everyone takes it. It's easy to like lose sight of like, hey,
Yeah.
I played baseball as a kid to have fun. Like, that's what I want to do.
Yeah, because it's
So,
a game.
yeah.
You're all and you're having fun.
You know, you don't play to your maximum like level when you're not having fun. Like if you're taking it as like a job and that like, oh, I gotta go to the field every day, this and that, like it makes it not fun.
Point, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
It's just, yeah.
Did you look it up?
It's Brendan Beck.
Brendan Beck.
Brendan Beck. There it is. The long-awaited answer.
Yeah.
Well, he got drafted this year too, so
Yeah.
Good
shout
for
out
him.
Brendan Beck.
Wish him the best of luck. Are there any players at other schools that you like feel really connected to, where you're like, oh yeah, like not from like high school or something, but where like you meet them playing and you're like, oh, that's a cool guy, I'll root for him.
Yeah. I played with Elko in the Northwoods.
Really?
Yeah. He's obviously like a really like easy guy to root for. I mean, like he went through ACL surgery. Like
Yeah.
he played on his torn ACL and hit a lot of home runs with his torn
I can't believe
ACL.
Ole Miss won this year.
Yeah. They came out of nowhere. They made a huge run.
You guys were the last time they lost.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. And I know at that time they thought that they might not even make like
Yeah, they don't even-
postseason,
Yeah.
Jeez,
which is
yeah.
crazy to think about. Just how it can turn around that quick.
Anyone can do it.
Mhm.
Gotta get on a run at the right time.
Yeah, real
Wow.
deal.
Well, as is customary for Show
Yeah,
the Door, we've
for sure.
had every single guest sign this jersey on the back. So you join a very selective group of people,
Cool.
of course. So, I was gonna, well, Emma, once you take that picture, we gotta do like the really cringy thumbnail. Okay, it's just like, okay, I can cut that. I know it's like a little hard to get like it working.
Got it.
Let's go.
There we go.
Awesome. Well,
Spencer did a really weird
Spencer-
job of it. He was struggling to get it
Spencer
on
is
there.
right here.
Oh no.
It took
Yeah,
him
no,
like
it's
30 seconds.
it was bad. That whole episode was bad.
Now
sorry,
we can
guys.
diss our own episode.
I'm dissing our own
Shut up,
episode.
Never do that.
But we appreciate you coming on.
No, yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on.
And obviously you're always welcome to come back if you
Yeah.
ever want to.
Yeah.
We obviously you're gonna have a great season. It's gonna be
Yeah.
a great time. But with that being said, we will see y'all next week, hopefully with Will Shepard. He might be coming on. We've been trying to get him scheduled.
It's also fall break, so like.
Oh shoot, we'll have an episode at the very least next Wednesday. We don't know if there'll be a guest, but
I don't know about Wednesday.
Why not?
I'm leaving Wednesday. We'll see about it. It's a scheduling thing.
We'll see about next week's
Scheduling
episode.
is the name of the game.
But we'll keep you all updated, and we'll see y'all later. All right, this has been Show 'em the Door. See y'all.
Peace.